Let's talk about it. The future of search, what's happening, what is changing, and why you want to stick around and look at the latest that's going on when it comes to how you're going to search, how you're going to engage with the future of how we interact with the internet. Curious about your thoughts as well. By the way, before we jump in, if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe, comment your questions down below and other things you want to talk about next. Anyways, jumping into it. So recently, ChatGPT's launched search, and not just regular search. They have their own search engine, and this is 100% changing the game in the way that things are going to be done and displayed. If you just think of it from a business perspective, you've done all of this work to get viewed on Google search in that top 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 placements. And if AI makes these changes in the way that we expect, all of that is null and void because people aren't going to search to look for the person who's the best or the first selection. They're going to use AI, and it's just going to tell them what you need to know, what you're looking for, or just do all of the research for you in the first place. So you're not seeing the ads, you're not going to the pages, you're not looking at the brands. Things are being changed. Let's dive in and understand what that really could be. I've not played with this extension, so some of these things you and I are going to play with together. I'll share a link to this article, but as you know, their search feature is going to be added into ChatGPT itself, which is super cool. So it's already natively within the ecosystem that you're used to when it comes to talking to ChatGPT. However, it now is going to be able to go out and do that searching and identifying and doing those basic actions for you, and then pulling that data back and providing it back to you within your chat. So again, you mean like if you want to go and do multiple searches and do a lot of deep diving, it's now able to do that. Let's try an example. So, oh look, here's some recent searches that were done. So let's just choose this top one. There's this tropical storm going on. It is now going out, doing the research. It's done the reasoning. It's trying to understand who it is, what we're trying to do, what we're trying to get information on. Going out, searching the internet for us, which is a pro and a con, capturing the most recent data it can find, which is insane. Again, I'm really curious to see how this is going to be. One of my concerns is its ability to properly reason whether a piece of content that it's referencing or sharing with you is actually good and credible and isn't generated by AI and completely fake. Really curious about your thoughts on that, because while it is cool that it can do its own research, not saying that you and I would naturally do the deep level of research. How would you know if what it's giving you and the information it's researched is accurate or good or credible? Probably would want to use something like the ground news platform if you're doing like news specific stuff. I've seen that platform's been pretty cool. But here you go. It's done its research. It gives us some pretty good updates and insights on what's actually going on here. Look at this. It's got all of the details, what this means. Now maybe let's do another example. And I'm going to say, hey, it looks like I'm actually in the path of this. I'm in an apartment. I don't really have a place to cover besides the apartment. What would you recommend I do? Are there places in the area I can go to keep myself and my family safe? So this is an interesting one. Try to use a reference point as if we're in the path of the storm, seeing if it would look for things or places that are outside of the path, or even if they are in that path, a safe area for me to go to. I didn't give it an exact city or zip code or address of where I am, but I referenced that I am in the area. And curious if this is going to make a positive impact on the outputs that it provides us. The ideal scenario is that this goes through and gives us directional pieces of some places to look at and go to, which would be pretty cool. I would love to hear some of the things you guys have used this for or try to use the search feature. We just simply click on this search button itself. I believe they're going to come out and provide some stuff here. Let's click and download this extension. With the Chrome extension, you're able to set ChatGPT as your primary search, which is pretty unique. So let's try this out here as an example. Best fishing rods for freshwater fishing. Look at this. It automatically, boom, automatically takes me to ChatGPT and does this. It just completely gets rid of the need of me having to do research on a platform like Amazon or, well, I'd probably still check Reddit because I just like Reddit. But it also gets rid of the need for me to go to Google. Why would I go to Google and get a bunch of ads and things interlaced in there? One thing that's not mentioned, or we've not discussed, is how would you know if these are ads placed on here? I've not had a chance to look at how is it referencing, how is it validating, how is it ensuring that it's not just pitching you a select set of people to get information from or products or services. I'd be really curious as to how that's curated and customized and how you and I as a business could also use it to our advantage to generate content or education or materials or resources or advertising or marketing to put ourselves in front of our potential customers while they're using the search platform on OpenAI. So in here, boom, we have an example. Look at this. It even gives us a preview. If I want to click buy, it takes us right to the link of this. And look at this. It doesn't even look like much of a page, but this looks like an Alibaba brand. Sorry, little Jim, if this is actually a decent company, but it does not look like a quality company. Best overall performance. I don't think that that is true. Let's see here. Here's another one. We got different platforms that it's found it from. Interesting. I'd be very curious to see what your thoughts are. I'd probably just choose the one that's got a resource that I know and just go here. And boom. Does it have an affiliate link? That's always a curious one. If they set up their own affiliate URL, they get payments every time you click on a referring link. If they have access to all of the pages out there, and then they go and create affiliate pages or slugs that they can use on all their URLs, what would stop them from intentionally, or air quotes, unintentionally, generating recommendations to stuff they can get affiliate commissions out of? Don't know. Something to figure out, something to know. Yeah, man, honestly, I don't have a ton, but I was just curious. There's so much crazy stuff going on with this. I would love to know your guys' thoughts. What would you do? How do you think you would want to use this? Is this something you plan on using or want to use? To my understanding, and based on some of the research that it sounds like is out there, people have definitely been using ChatGPT a lot more to do their own research or just searching things in general. In fact, a lot of like millennials have been using this as their primary place, as well as younger generations have been using this as their primary means of search. So curious on how this has impacted you and what your behaviors have been since OpenAI's given you the ability just to talk with it. So would love to know. Put your comments down below. Any questions, insights, if you want me to dive into something new, let me know. I'll talk to you guys in the next video and see you again very soon.